Hello again. There is a good deal of controversy lately about the idea that free speech is being suppressed. I dare say that viewers have seen Catherine Stock, the professor who's visiting Oxford University to speak about the trans business and all the efforts that were made to prevent her from being allowed to express her views there. The grounds for the opposition to her speaking is that her opinions about transsexuals can cause harm and encourage people to be horrible to those hoping to change sex. Now, of course, if she were actually encouraging people to be violent towards anybody, then the law is ready to act against her, but she's doing nothing of the kind. It is just that some people don't like what she says. Of course, there are people who don't like what I say either, and they too would like to see others prevented from hearing what I have to say. I think such views are wrong-headed and reactionary in that they tend to stop progress and the emergence of truth. How does society progress and develop? It's by ideas. People often have new ideas, and when these come up against old ideas, there's a clash, and from that opposition of ideas, new ideas sometimes emerge, which manage to combine the best bits of the two original ideas, which were in opposition to each other. This is known as the dialectical process. You can see it at work in all sorts of things. You can see how Einstein's theory of relativity came along and replaced Newton's worldview. You can see it how the theory of evolution came along in opposition to the biblical story of creation, and new ideas emerged like that. You get a synthesis, you get a new idea and an old idea, and they come up against each other, and you find that sometimes a better idea than either of those two ideas emerges. If nobody came up with new ideas, then of course we would be stuck permanently with the old ones and nothing would ever change. Our way of life might still involve human sacrifice and slavery, and our heating would consist of open fires in a cave rather than central heating in a house. It is the free exchange of ideas and people saying what they please which leads to new things. All this is, I suppose, pretty obvious, so obvious that it shouldn't need saying, but I cannot help but observe that there is now a large body of opinion which holds that this process, the airing of different and sometimes radical or unpopular views, should stop. The reason that they think this way is that they believe that their ideas are so clearly right that they cannot be improved upon, and so arguing against them is dangerous nonsense. So it is that some people today honestly think that their ideas about race, fossil fuels, gender, and a dozen other subjects are literally perfect, and that anybody who argues with them must be wicked or mad, and that they should be stopped from saying anything which contradicts these wise and good ideas which now hold sway. It is this line of reasoning which is behind the desire to silence some people and stop them being able to express their views. This is what was happening at Oxford with Catherine Stock, and of course it's happening on a smaller scale with this YouTube channel. I do not know if the ideas which I express here are correct or not. Many of them are almost certainly not correct, because we all of us hold opinions which are faulty and not well founded in logic and reason. And I can see no reason why I would be an exception to that general rule. Perhaps half of what I say might prove to be like that. I honestly do not have unbounded faith in the opinions which I express here. I may think that I'm right, but then so do many people who hold views which turn out to be nonsense. What I notice, though, about those who are vehemently opposed to my views and try to get this channel closed down is that they do not seem to have any such doubts about their own point of view. They are utterly convinced that they are right and I am wrong. This can be dangerous because when somebody is sure that he is right, then there's literally no limit to how far he will go to defend his position and also to prevent others from holding or even listening to another point of view which casts doubt on his own. This is what happens, of course, when people are sure that their view is the last word about society. We saw this when the Catholic Church was powerful. Anybody who disagreed with the Church was doing the devil's work and needed to be burned at the stake. We've seen it too in Soviet Russia and Nazi Germany. I think that this unwavering confidence in your own political or religious view is a very unhealthy and dangerous thing. We see free speech in operation in the comments on the videos which I make. I don't agree with some of the people who comment here. I think they are mistaken. But that doesn't mean that I want to stop them from expressing their view. For all I know to the contrary, they may be right and it might be me who's wrong. The same applies to those who routinely denounce this channel elsewhere. Perhaps they're right. There is only one way of settling the question, and that is by freely debating ideas. If all sorts of ideas are thrown about and talked about, then you can be pretty sure that the truth will eventually come to light. It's inevitable. In the long run, bad ideas and irrational ones will fall by the wayside and only truth will remain. Whenever I see people trying to stop this process and suppress this or that opinion or stop somebody from speaking, I'm always very suspicious. They must, like me, know that free debate will end ultimately in the truth being revealed. But they apparently don't want this to happen. It can only mean that they fear truth and do not want it to see it emerge from contending ideas. I find this deeply sinister.